Hello Reds and welcome to Top of the Cop. I recently took to Twitter and asked for the Liverpool community to send some questions on recent Liverpool topics, whether it be certain games, certain player, transfer or paper talk. And I got quite a few questions fired over and I just basically want to give my input on a few of those today. And there's some really interesting topics that have been thrown my way, from Gini Wijnaldum to obviously the Van Dijk injury and a few ins and outs of transfers this summer. And what I've done is I've picked out several really interesting topics to discuss. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. First question is from Talk Football Shabs. He asks, how do you think Firmino fits in now that Jota's back? How do you see Klopp using him, and how would you personally use him if you were the manager? Now, obviously, Firmino's form this year has been really poor, considering obviously what we expect from him and the front three, in all honesty, what we've come to expect over the last few years. And Jota, before he got injured, looked like a breath of fresh air that we needed. We needed to obviously mix up that top three, and he seems to be the perfect signing to do that. And since Jota has obviously come back from injury, he's looked really sharp, he's given us that edge, and he's going to be pushing for a start, if not already established himself. So it does beg the question about Firmino's role going into the end of the season and next year. Now, I've talked quite openly on a few fronts on this, so basically I suppose what Shabs is asking here is, do you want to sell him or do you mould him into a different position? Now, depending on how our summer transfers go and how much we as a club would like to see a new striker stroke winger, something's going to give. We've got Jota, Firmino, Salah and Mane. A lot of people are calling for players like Haaland, Mbappe to be signed. If we're going to sign a top class player, one, we're going to need Champions League football, which unless we win the Champions League itself this season looks very unlikely. And two, if we did sign one of them, let's just say for instance we signed Erling Haaland, even though I don't think we will sign him, if we did, one of those front four are going to have to go. Now, it's not going to be Jota. You would like to think it's not going to be Salah from a Liverpool point of view, unless he asks to leave. That's a completely different story. Mane, obviously, he's a firm favourite within the fans, and then Firmino. So what you've got to sum up is, if Firmino's role is a number 9, and we're looking to bring in a number 9, and we've got Jota, Firmino would be the one that would have to leave. He's not getting any younger. You could still get good money for him. But I don't want to talk too much on that front because I don't want Firmino to go. So the only other option is moulding him into a different position. Now, another question coming up in this Q&A was to do with the midfield. So thinking about that question coming up, would Firmino suit a number 10 role that Coutinho had in behind the striker? And the answer is yes. We've got Oxlade-Chamberlain there at the moment, who obviously has just come back from injury. Before he was injured, he did look really sharp, but will he find that again? Has he had too many injuries? Will they obviously take a toll on his body? We're not going to know these answers straight away. Is he going to be able to start week in, week out? No. Oxlade-Chamberlain's got a long road ahead of him. Whether you think he should stay, if he is to stay at Liverpool, it won't be a first team starter. So Firmino would fit in that role. As we know, he does like to drop deep anyway, so maybe moulding him in behind a number 9 would be the way forward. But yeah, as I say, a lot does depend on signings coming in, and obviously what happens with the midfielders that we're going to talk about in the next question. So Taskin asks, with questions around Keita, Shaqiri and Ox in terms of injuries and availability, Gini's contract situation, Milner's age, and then Curtis Jones, hopefully Harvey Elliott beginning to stake a claim for themselves, how do you see our midfield looking next year? Now obviously it's quite a broad question, so what I'll do is I'll just try and concentrate on the midfield as a whole and try and break it down into some transparency. So yeah, it's clear the likes of Keita, Shaqiri and Ox have been long-term injury problems. Now, Shaqiri looks like he's over a little tiny bit. Whether he can play in, week out is unknown. The Ox, I'd love for him to be able to hit that form that he hit a few years ago before he got injured against Man City. I would like to see that again. I just don't think we're going to see that again, if I'm being honest. I'm going to be making a video probably a few days after this goes live on current players that potentially could leave. And Ox and Shaqiri are in that list, heads up. So the only issue there is, again, it depends on who we bring in. If we're looking to bring in a midfielder, there's players like that are going to leave. So Keita, for me, I would give him another 12 months to see if he can stay injury free, because Keita's ability is undeniable. Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, hopefully, and Keita would be our main 4 midfielders going into next year if they can stay fit. So obviously this tweet was sent to me before the Gini news came out. It does look like Gini Wijnaldum is leaving Liverpool. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad that that's now come to an end. Whether you like it or not, I appreciated what he's done for the club. Do I think he's as good as the midfielders that we've got? No. Take away the Barcelona game. I don't mean to sound horrible, but there's nothing you could, he's not a game changer. I believe he's recorded 0 assists and 0 goals this season. So obviously his mind's elsewhere. And I'm glad that Liverpool haven't given in to obviously contract talks, because it's obviously come down to money. He feels like he wants more money. The way I see it is he's 30 years old. He's not getting any better. He's not one of our overperforming players, let's just say. I know there's a lot of Gini love out there. I'm just getting to the point that I don't see why we should be giving him a lot more money than what he's currently on, which is obviously what he wants, and he probably wants a massive signing on fee with him being a free transfer. So I'm glad that Liverpool stuck to the guns. I'm glad that Gini's obviously, had a great career at Liverpool, and I wish him well for the future, but it looks like the Gini is obviously leaving. And Milner, yeah, that's another one. This year you can see in the games that he has played, he has looked a bit leggy. He does look a bit off the pace. And again, James Milner, what a servant. The best free transfer that I think we've ever had. I love him. Could we get another year out of him for cover? Maybe. But maybe Milner's got his eyes set on playing more football, and maybe Leeds, for instance, it's his boyhood club. I'm sure he'd love to go back there at some point. But again, I suppose that depends if we bring any other midfielders in. If we don't bring any other midfielders in, I can't see him leaving. But if we did bring in a younger, fresher, replacement for Gini, Keita can stay fit, Thiago can start getting played in the positions that he needs to be, because Henderson and Fabinho are going to be back. We need 6 solid centre mids, and 1 or 2 of them that can push in. So if we're talking about the previous question about the Firmino role getting altered, he could become one of those main 3, letting the likes of Ox, Shaqiri, Milner and obviously Gini maybe looking at moving them on. But again, it just depends if we do look to bring in another centre mid. Now, Sebastian Tino says, do you think Liverpool should trigger Ozan Kabak's £18 million option to buy in the summer or not? As it stands, absolutely. I think 18 million for a centre-back of his age is an absolute steal. Regardless if he's had an injury or not, I still think for 18 million to get a centre-back at his quality is an absolute steal. Do I think he's going to be one of our main centre-backs? Obviously not. I think Gomez, Matip and Van Dijk are all ahead of him at the moment. Obviously he's young. As long as we can have 4 centre-backs next season going into all competitions, I'd be happy. And obviously then we've got Ben Davies as well. And if we're looking to invest in different areas, 18 million for a centre-back at the age of 20, 21 with half a season of obviously Premier League football in him would be an absolute steal. And it means we could use funds on an extra midfielder or looking to sign, a striker. So for me, yes, but we don't know on budgets. If we've got more money in a budget for a centre-back, there are other viable options out there that people have obviously talked about. I made the video on 5 centre-backs Liverpool should look at this summer as well, and Ozan Kabak made number 4. So for me, if we've got budgets, there are other centre-backs out there that I'd prefer, but for 18 million, yeah, why not? Now, the 1892 Reds podcast said, with this season now a top 4 race, with injuries being the big talking point, was the injury to Jota bigger than Gomez and Van Dijk, considering the turning point for our season started when Jota was out? Now, in short answer, no. I do think the Van Dijk and Gomez injuries have caused serious harm to the team, and without going into too much detail, because obviously I don't want it to be long-winded, when you take the main 2 centre-backs out of any football team, it throws so much up in the air. Now, if we had another solid 2 centre-backs like Kabak and Matip at the time, all would have been fine to a certain extent. But the problem was we dropped Fabinho back in there. Then obviously when he got injured, we moved Henderson back in there. Now what happens is when you take out your main 2 centre-backs and then your main 2 midfielders cover that position, you're not only having weaker players playing centre-back, but you're losing your midfield. You know, that link-up play, what Fabinho offers in the sense of letting the likes of Henderson and Wijnaldum push up, his cover alone is vital. Without Henderson's box-to-box, Trent, for instance, has always got Henderson inside of him, Salah up the wing. When Henderson started playing centre-back, you could tell the Trent's game was affected because he didn't have that natural link-up play with Henderson inside. And the same with Robertson. You know, once you take Fabinho out, he used to link up with Robertson, giving him an option, and Mane down the wing. That all went, so the two centre-backs being injured is more catastrophic across the team as a whole. It affects every position to a certain extent. And then again, because you haven't got Henderson, you haven't got Fabinho, Thiago looks out of sorts because he's doing box-to-box. That's not his style of play. You've got a lack of link-up play between the midfield and the attackers, so the top three are like not getting enough support and obviously getting enough chances. So no, although Jota's been amazing since he's come back, I do think the centre-backs being injured have played a vital part to obviously our demise this season. Scouser TI says, after spending almost 85 million on Naby and the Ox, do you think they'll still be at Anfield in August? Maybe not the Ox. Keita will definitely stay, as mentioned before. I think a fit Keita offers more as a central midfielder, well, especially an attacking midfielder, than all of our midfielders. And, you know, in all fairness, we know that a fully fit Oxlade-Chamberlain offers us something in that centre attacking role. He also offers us something as a winger in case of injuries. So unless we've got hundreds of millions of pounds to sign 3 or 4 players, I don't see, in all honesty, why we would get rid of him. We wouldn't recoup as much money as we paid for him. As I say, his quality is there when fit, but I suppose that's down to Klopp, and it also depends whether Ox is happy to obviously be a squad player or he wants more first team football. Now, Zane Talksport says, who do you think will leave this summer? Now, what I'll do is I'll go from goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders to attackers. Now, from a goalkeeping point of view, it wouldn't change too much. There's no need really to obviously sell Adrian. You know, we might as well keep him and Kelleher. They seem to be, between them, being able to cover when Alisson's out. You know, fingers crossed Alisson's not out as much as he was this year. I do think it's all time he let Karius go. At this point, you know, it's clear he's got no future. He's been on loan since that catastrophic night against Real Madrid in the Champions League final a few years ago, so I think it's about time, obviously, he parted ways. From a defensive point of view, I don't think we'd sell any of the fullbacks or centre-backs, to be honest. If anything, we need to obviously strengthen in those areas. In the midfield, again, it just depends if you're going to be signing another centre midfielder or not, but I suppose the likes of Shaqiri, Ox, Milner, you know, their positions are questionable. And from an attacking point of view, you've got Minamino that we sent out on loan to Southampton, and we've got Divock Origi. Now, Minamino's position at Liverpool, again, is up in the air. As of now, you'd say, you know, he hasn't got a future, because obviously we've signed Jota, and if we really want to sign another number 9, then Minamino's likeness of playing football for us is going to be very limited. And I think Divock's performances in the derby against Barcelona and then in the Champions League final have run their course. You know, I don't think at this point there's any point in keeping Divock Origi at Liverpool. When he has come on this season, he's shown nothing, not even a glimpse of anything worth saying, let's keep him. So we might as well just let him go. And yeah, probably that's about it. Again, just depending on signings, how much money we get to spend this summer. I think there are going to be a few outgoings, and I think amongst the players mentioned are going to be your main candidates. Now, on the subject of Minamino, Sebastian Tino did also ask, do you think that Minamino was only brought in for commercial reasons, and will he get a chance in the summer, or will he be sold? So again, in an ideal world, we want to improve our attacking options. So from me, he'll either be sold or loaned out again. And do I think he was brought in for commercial reasons? No, I don't. Obviously, I do understand that, you know, a Japanese player coming to the Premier League does bring a lot of commercial value. But I think at the time we didn't have much money and we needed options when it came to the top 3 and keeping obviously Salah, Mane and Firmino on their toes. It never panned out like that. We signed Jota. That seems to have worked. So Minamino is really down the pecking order. So I'm hoping he'd be ambitious enough to not want to sit there on the bench. So the likeness is, for me, he will be sold. And finally, the Red Johnson says, news about signing Erling Haaland. Now, there isn't any at all. If I'm being honest, without Champions League football, which unless we win the Champions League this season, looks like it'd be very unlikely, I don't even think Haaland would entertain a move to Liverpool. You know, if he is going to move to Premier League, I do think he's more likely to sign for Man City. You know, his father played there, his father captained Man City, he's been pictured as a kid in Man City shirts. Aguero's going out, he's an ideal replacement. I do think Man City is more of an option for him. So obviously I don't want him to go there, but I don't think he's going to sign for Liverpool, if I'm being honest. I'd love to be wrong on this, but we can all dream. Anyway, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy, obviously, this type of Q&A, I will have more planned. Drop a like and do subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have any questions that you'd like answering, you know, on Liverpool in the next Q&A, leave them in the comments down below. All the social media links are down below, including our Twitter, where you can interact with us daily. And with that being said, take care, Reds.